If you've ever washed hats in the top rack of your dishwasher and had excellent results, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Welcome back, folks. Happy Victory Monday here today. We've got a week of trading to kick off. If you can't tell, I'm absolutely effing excited. Let's start the show.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning, folks, and happy Victory Monday to everybody out there. I hope that you all had a great weekend. I hope that you stayed safe and also enjoyed the football. Let me go ahead and bring on my main man, 1313. How was your weekend, boss?
Well, if we're going to exclude the Packers game, I had a great weekend. But yeah, that was pretty devastating to see our quarterback get injured. Probably going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, but that's okay. It isn't the end of the season, and we'll just have to, fight an uphill battle. So.
Indeed. I'll tell you what, as a Bears fan and as someone who roots for the Packers to lose every single game they play football, it is incredibly sad to see the quarterback go down. That's not how I want it. Like you had mentioned, it's going to be a short injury there. So by the time the Bears play the Packers, hopefully he should be back. There's no honor in beating a beat-down team. So I'm with you there. I'm sorry about that. But that was on Friday. Hopefully the rest of your weekend was good. And now we have a Monday here, which means it's time to make some money. Full disclosure here, 13 and I are locked in a heated battle in our happy hour fantasy football league. I have 2 players to go tonight, and we will not know until the wee hours of the evening or morning who wins.
And we might end up being the highest scoring teams this week too, as a result. If you end up, especially if you end up beating me, we're going to probably be the 2 highest scoring teams in our league.
Hey, who's surprised that 13 and Ryan are the highest scorers in fantasy? Not me, that is for sure. Bonjour, smoked tuna. Still on holiday at home in the Maldives. Okay, well, you're obviously not struggling. That is awesome, and I bet the view there in the Maldives is spectacular. I will say, smoked tuna, we had a great week last week, but we missed you. We had a number of stocks that would have been right in your wheelhouse. You enjoy your vacation, boss, and we will see you when you get back. For everyone else that is not on vacation in some exotic place, we are thrilled to have you back here. 13, let's go. Oh, my computer's okay. Let's go ahead and dive right into the market, shall we?
Sure. That was weird.
What?
I was seeing what you were talking about how you got a little bit of a lag there on your video with your computer.
There's so much goodness on this Victory Monday that the internet can't even handle the bandwidth. That's what I'm going to say. In other news, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and dive into that SPY, baby. So this is what we're looking at here. Of course, on Friday, we had another really, really rough day as the SPY and the broader market technology as well really continued to slide. We did kind of come back in towards that 100-day. We broke away from the 50-day. And now, actually, you can see we are what? 3 points higher than that 100-day moving average. I suspect when we turn around, or if we turn around, that 100-day will come into play. However, this morning we are seeing a relief rally. So we actually ended up trading lower on Friday after the market closed. Today we have bounced back, up about 3.5 points. So the first question that I have, 13, is, as always, do you have any specific levels or things for the SPY you think we should watch? But my larger question, or my second question, if you will, is, do you think that this is a one-day snapback? Do you think we get the same type of thing Friday where we pop and then reverse and then sell off, which, by the way, we prepared you for here on that show? Do you think we get anything like that, or do you think we get kind of a snapback, 1 day, 2 day snapback? What say you here with the SPY?
Well, because the market's been, more focused on the really big economic and earnings data prints, I think we're going to see a couple of days where we might just have the market shop around a bit and kind of go a bit sideways until we get to the CPI and PPI numbers coming out on Wednesday and Thursday. So I think that's what the market is waiting for is that. So we're gonna I think we're just gonna kind of chop around. Don't exactly know where we'll end up, but I think it's gonna end up being probably about the same area, maybe in the 540s that we'll just kind of hang out in, maybe in the low 530s to start with. I'm sorry, the high 530s to start with. But if we have any weakness, it's going to probably get some support down at around the 5% pullback area. That's at 536.90. That's 5% off of the all-time high of 565.16. So I think that's where the downside could be to the most. And to the as far as upside goes, if we try to trade up a little bit, I think maybe 547 would be the level I'd be looking for at the tops to go back up to. I just don't think we're going to retrace all this entire move that we had on Friday. I think we're just going to have a little bit of a bounce, kind of like a little bit of a short rally over the next day or two. And then when CPI comes out, it's probably going to end up going lower. That would be my
okay. Okay. Well, that's really good. That actually gives us a tradable plan here. That CPI is Wednesday morning, right? Did I get that right? Or is it Tuesday morning? Which one is the CPI?
I believe it should be Wednesday. Let me just double check. Yeah,
okay, no problem. That's what I thought too, but I don't have the note in front of me. It is?
Yes, on the 11th. Yeah. So
that is then giving us a tradable plan for the market. We'll see if that ends up panning out here. Really good breakdown there on the SPY. We'll see where we go. The other thing that we're going to have here this week is the debate. Asking a question related to that. Without getting into the politics, do you think the debate will have any impact on the market? So this is a really good question. And I'll be honest, I go back and forth on this. I think one candidate's policies are pretty clear, and I think the other one's is murky and ever-changing like quicksand. So I'm not sure how much the debate is actually going to surface new information for voters. Instead, what I think the debate is going to do is it's going to surface a lot of the attacking rhetoric that seems to go back and forth. So what I think 13 and I will try and do is the following morning, we'll try and extract anything that we can then apply to the market and see if there's anything that we can make trading decisions off of. But going into that event, I'm going to not have my hopes up very high for that at all. I really don't think there's going to be a whole lot. We'll see. The market will tell us whether we're right or wrong. We'll try and take an objective approach at that the day after. 13, did you have anything that you wanted to add on that?
I think the debate will have some impact on the market. It's really going to depend on what they say. There's going to be some sectors that I think will be able to react more than others. One thing that could be interesting to watch for, and I think it's moving this morning, is DJT. That tends to get a lot of volatility. It had a lot of volatility, but during ahead of his last debate with Biden. It also had a lot of volatility when he was campaigning earlier this year. So I think we'll probably end up seeing that stock at the very least get some movement. And as far as the rest of the market goes, it's going to depend on what they say. So keep your ears open for what they're talking about, and think of stocks and sectors related to their discussion, because I think we could see some movement out of what they end up talking about.
And we can try and help with that the morning after, right? And 13 and I, we can assure you, we will do everything we can to keep it focused on stocks. Really good question. Appreciate how you approached that here this morning. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the movers. Then we can kind of jump back into any other stocks that you folks want to take a look at here. Let's see. I was actually having an issue with my movers tool earlier. It's because of this volume filter, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it off, and I'll just kind of keep an eye on the volume, and we'll run through some of these. First one here is going to be, oops, wow, that evidently didn't work.
Don't have oops wow on my list.
Yeah, I was going to say oops wow is not one of them. SINT, however, is one of them. This one taking the second leg up and has a catalyst here. SINTX. I mean, they're just trying to embarrass me as early as possible here, 13. That's what we've come across. SINTX, SINTX. Technology shares are trading higher after the company announced it had received a notice of allowance from the United States Patent and Trademark Office for patent applications. I'm not even going to read the numbers. Methods of surface functionalization of zirconia tuft alumina with silicon nitride ceramic. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I am not really sure how to break that PR down. Apparently, the market is really rewarding this as the stock is up 115% here today. Since we did pop off that impulse move, the really good thing that I like seeing here for the purpose of trading here today is we came back into the VWAP. We kind of consolidated and rode above that VWAP, and then we popped back to the highs. If this continues, this is likely going to give us more trade setups here today. 13, what do you have here on Sint?
Yeah, so they have a very low float, 747,000 shares. They also did a 1 for 200 reverse split back on May 28th. That's the reason why you have such a low float. It looks like they have at least a couple of quarters of a cash runway, so they can continue losing money for at least the next 2 quarters. I don't think they will be looking to, raise any capital anytime soon, if the figures are correct. But yeah, this is a very thin name, and this has been absolutely hammered to hell. I mean, if you look at a long-term chart, you can see that the number of reverse splits this thing has had has really, really made this thing lose its value over time. But as far as upside levels go, I mean, it's going to be tough with this one because we're kind of coming up into a bunch of consolidation. But if we can get back over, let's call it 625. I'd be looking at 740, 85 is the next upside target, followed by looks like 945.
Okay.
Not too sure about this one. It's very, very thin name, so we're going to see a lot of volatility, a lot of whipping around, and just be careful with this one because the low float could mean that we end up getting a quick knife on this one at some point, maybe even a broadsword. You know what I mean?
Oh, return of the broadsword. Do we get it today? Really good breakdown there. We'll see here on Sint. I will say I do like this trading action thus far. So we'll see if this continues here into the opening session. Remember, one of the things that we're going to look at for all of these plays is going to be the volume. That should tell us the story. Next on this list is going to be INBS. This is Intelligent Biosolutions. Catalyst here. Intelligent Biosolutions shares are trading higher after the company announced preliminary Q4 revenue results of $730,000 and fiscal year 24 revenue of $3.11 million. Now, this popped on Friday. I believe, did we get some of this news on Friday? No, we did not. Looks like we got news on Saturday that they advanced in the FDA approval process. And we got some of these data prints here today. 13, what do you make of ticker INBS having a pop in the after hours and then a second pop here in the pre-market today?
Well, we've actually traded this before. This is something we traded back in February when it was last running. So I have a whole bunch of levels for this, but we're kind of far away from those levels. We need to get, let's see, we're about 250 right now. The first level I have is going to be down at 335. So we still have a ways to go there. But before that, I think we would want to clear 3. That looks like an important level to get past. They do have a 3.11 million shares in the float. They did do a 1 for 12 reverse split earlier in this year. They started off the year with the reverse split back on January 29th. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot of information on this company, but those levels, that's what I'm going to be watching for. Let's see if we can get back above 250. VWAP currently is at let's call it 265. So I think we would want to see a recapture of that, followed by the break over 320, which is the pre-market high this morning when we opened.
Okay. Jay here saying Sint, so it's traded 20x its float pre-market. Not quite, Jay, at least not from the figures that I have. I do have a float reading here of 3 million, and so far here we've traded 14 million. That's
not Sint.
Oh, excuse me. I had it on the, I'm sorry about that. Jay, you are exactly right, actually. Yep. Traded about 20 times. So thank you, 13. I'm glad somebody's awaking somebody's awake and still not thinking about football here. That's going to do us well here today. So I appreciate you. Jay, I'd be curious, is this something that you're looking to trade? Or does that little stat that you just gave there mean this is kind of a no touch for you? Curious to how you approach that. Okay, next on the list here is going to be Summit. This is SMMT, and yep, we've traded this one before several times here on this show. I guess, you know what? We could even call this an ex-girlfriend. The one thing that I will say here is when we first started trading Summit, the stock was $3 to $4. Stock is 15 here and was actually as high as 20. It looks like it did find resistance and print 20s here in the pre-market. So this stock has come a long way on a lot of this news, okay? So, or on a lot of the news that it's had in the past 7 or 8 months. Now, the news here today, Summit Therapeutics shares are trading higher after they announced its lung cancer candidate has surpassed Merck's multi-billion-dollar Keytruda, cutting the risk of disease or death by half. Couple of things here. So first of all, obviously don't have any type of medical background. So confirming some of this stuff, looking at the data and scrutinizing it. Unfortunately, I still have to rely on others in my circle that are attached to the medical field, and I haven't been able to do that yet. However, the way that this PR reads is awesome, and I am completely unsurprised to see the reaction that we've seen here, given some of the things that we're seeing in the PR. Cancer, a horrific disease, and I'm willing to bet that almost everybody in here has lost someone important to them by cancer or from cancer. Anytime that you get some type of treatment that's going to help any of this stuff, it does make the stocks react. It is probably one of the most true things that you can see here in the biotech field. Lung cancer candidate surpassing a known quantity. Keytruda is a huge drug that has produced a ton of money for Merck, and now we're getting a comparison to that drug to say it's better. So I can't tell you if the drug's going to be better. I can't tell you if the drug's going to replace it. I can't do any of that. But what I can tell you here is that the numbers and the stuff out of this PR are great. This should absolutely get eyeballs on the stock here today. Let's let the stock tell us what direction it wants to go. You did see a pop here. We retraced about 45% of that move. Then we set new highs up here at about $20, and we came right back in. We are about 50% retracement of this impulse move. We have the volume kind of tailing off. Let's let the volume tell us which direction this is going to go here today. 13, what do you got on Summit?
This has an 83.3 million share float, and they also have 21.3% of the float shorted with 8.83 days to cover. So we are seeing a bit of a short squeeze happening here, and we could see this continue throughout the day. One thing that is interesting to me, I only have a few levels for this, and you'll see why in just a second, but I have 1440, 1675, and let's call it 1995 to 20. So the reason those are important is because that's, according to my broker, that's all I have as far as the highest price goes. After $20, we're getting out into blue sky territory. So we could see this thing could absolutely rip right to that price target that I don't remember who had that price target. H.C. Wainwright. Yeah. They changed their price target to 30. So that's entirely possible. But, given the news here, the short squeeze, and the fact that we've already hit that all-time high in this stock this morning in the pre-market, I think we could definitely get back there. Just couldn't tell you when that's going to happen, but it's something that you're going to want to watch for. Keep this on your radar, because I think this one could end up turning around at some point and taking off. I just couldn't say exactly when. VWAP is currently at 1679. We'll need to recapture that first.
Okay, here we go. Gregory, appreciate you. I think that you are some kind of doctor. I'm not sure. AKESF just reported phase 3 data on one of its drugs for lung cancer that's twice as better response than frontline Keytruda by Merck. So like I said, oncology is your specialty. Okay, that's amazing. I'd like to know what you think of Summit. If you could give a synopsis here for the chat. That'd be really awesome. Like I said, I'm not the doctor. It's not my wheelhouse. It's not my specialty. So I'm not going to pretend it's not, but I've watched enough of these stocks PR and report good news about this stuff to know how they're going to trade. That's all I was really preparing you for here today. Gregory, I would love a deep dive into this. That'd be really awesome. Moving along the list here, BLMZ is back. We had a great opportunity with this on Friday. Congrats to everyone that hit this. We're getting a pop here today, traded right up to that 250 level, kind of backed off of it a little bit, but it's gearing like it's going to curl and go through it. Again, volume is going to tell the story here. Let's just really quickly review the volume to price correlation from Friday. When the volume was popping, the stock was popping. When the volume dried up, stock was dropping. Just watch the volume here today, folks. When the volume is going crazy, that's when we want to trade it. When it dries up, we'll look for other opportunities. 13, you got anything here on BLMZ? I didn't see any fresh news.
No, it's moving up on the same news that it initially moved up on Friday. So, and this has a 6.7 million share float. So nothing new here to really talk about, just that this is providing another trade. And as we talk, it's trying to recapture VWAP in the pre-market. If it does, then I'll be looking for 230 as the next upside target to break. We got as high as 259 in the pre-market here. So that's something that we could definitely get back up to. Before that, need to recapture VWAP, need to get above 230, and I would also say 250 before we get to that pre-market high of 259. As far as how high this thing could go, keep in mind that on Friday, this got up to 280. So those are going to be the levels I'm looking for, to go up to, starting. If we go higher than that, then we just have to look to the left and start determining what levels. But for now, I think those are the ones we want to pay attention to with BLMZ.
Perfect. Next here on the list is going to be Arlay. This is Relay Therapeutics. Now, this doesn't have great volume here this morning, but it is moving. Relay Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company reported interim data for breast cancer treatment. So here we go. Another cancer treatment. This stock is popping here. Stock's got 104 million float. We've only traded just under 500,000, maybe 350,000 shares in the pre-market. On average, stock does 1.1 million. So we'll see if this gets going here. But this is what's moving. Did you cover anything on Arlay? I'm not sure if you did or not.
Not quite, but I'll just cover the things that I can see real quickly here. This has 104 million share float, so it is a little bit of a thick boy, and it's not going to be able to move around with volatility like some of these other ones have. Doesn't mean that we can't get pops throughout the day, but just keep in mind that this is going to be a little bit heavier than the others. One good thing it has going for it is that it is a little bit shorted here. We have 8.44% of the float shorted with 7.12 days to cover. That kind of puts it into the territory of what we want to see for a short squeeze, even though we'd want to see more double digits of the float shorted. That's still okay. And then as far as the financials go, looks like it has about 134 million in cash. It's burning about anywhere between 60 and 90 million a quarter. So it might have to raise some money soon. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this the movement today. Maybe there's some some funding that it's going to have to or an offering it's going to have to make. But at this point, I think it's just trade what we can see. I don't have levels on this one. Let me see if I can find some for you. But you're going to want to look to the left and get some levels for this one. And that's basically all I got. I didn't cover this one. Sorry.
All good. Next here is going to be IVP. This is a former trader that we've had. Let's call it ex-girlfriend, if you will. I actually didn't see any news on this one. Yeah, no news, no fresh news on this one. This kind of just looks like a continuation. It did pop here, plus 31% on this glorious Victory Monday, but we're not really taking off yet. Let's see if we can actually move through the VWAP. 13, did you have anything else that you wanted to cover on this one? I know we've covered IVP quite a bit, so I think we'll just kind of move on here. The other thing I wanted to mention, Hover, ticker HOVR, is up today. This is New Horizon Aircraft. I think we've spoken about this one in relation to Archer and Joby, some of the other stocks that we've seen move. New Horizon Aircraft shares trading higher after the company announced it began full-scale development of its eVTOL aircraft, accelerated flight tests, and team expansion. Did you cover this one at all, 13? I know this is kind of moving a little bit later.
No, I didn't. And it seems like at this point, based on this news that we're getting here today, that they are still pretty far behind Joby, Archer, and EHang. So, and probably even behind Lilium as well. So, this could be one to watch for as it continues to develop its aircraft. But, their full-scale development, they're not even finished with making their aircraft. It sounds like. So
they're a ways away. It seems like good news, but ways away.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to need to raise more money. They're going to still spend cash. Let's
flip over to the chart. We've got 5 minutes before we open here, but before we do, we got to hand out some flowers. First of all, Amanda, good morning. It's great to see you. I will say, you missed my opener here. I must shout you out in public. Your idea of using or of putting baseball caps in the top drawer or the top shelf of the dishwasher and running the load on normal with just the hats was phenomenal. I have 2 white hats that now have new life thanks to your suggestion. That was an awesome life hack, and I appreciate it. Also, for us that consider ourselves nerds out there, I have my new nerd coffee mug. So if any of you want to take a stab and see what this actually says, I'd love to hear it. Nerds rejoice. We are awesome. All right. What other stocks do you folks want to take a look at here? INBS, we already took a look at that. We will take a look at that.
I think he's mentioning it because it's trying to make a move here. That's why he's mentioning it.
Well.
Because if you look at what's happening right now, it's trying to recapture that VWAP, and it's got a bit of a wall at 263 to 265 it's trying to get through. So we get past that, could make its way back up to 3.
Okay. Let's see if INBS goes. Funky Cold Stocks. What is the dishwasher hat hack again? You literally put the baseball caps on the top drawer of the dishwasher, run it like you would run a normal load with just the hats, and they come out clean. It's unbelievable and undamaged. And I thought it was a joke. I thought I was going to get gotted. I thought I was getting set up to ruin some of my stuff. And I thought I was going to come back here with my head hung in shame. But instead, I've got hats that have new life breathed into them. I absolutely love it. Okay, Smita wants to take a look at DJT. Every time we take a look at DJT, what I will say here is please understand that their fundamentals of this are not great or existence at all, frankly. So pretty much just use this as a trading vehicle. Now, I understand why Smita wants to take a look at this because we do have the debate coming up. Maybe this stock reacts to it. I don't know. As far as C's question earlier about policy and different things like that, when we come back after it, we're probably not going to talk much about DJT unless it's really going ham, because I think that there's other things that we can draw more concrete lines to. However, given that this can be a trading vehicle here, you did see we popped early and we were not really able to hold that. If we take a look at the daily chart here, it looks pretty bad. I do expect us to get a bounce maybe at this level that we're at here. Maybe it kind of trades sideways a little bit, but you can see what the volatility was and how it's really kind of bled out of this. Personally, Smita, I would say that let's let this tell us that it's a good trader too. We don't necessarily need to hit that first trade. Let's let it confirm that it's going to be a good trader first, and then we can kind of make some sense of it. To be quite honest with you, at least here today, we have an entire list of stocks that should be easier to trade. 13, did you have anything that you wanted to cover on DJT here before we look at the next stock?
Aside from everything you said, and I look at the daily chart, it seems like it's trying to base and turn around. So that's something to watch for. I would be looking for a recapture of 20. That would be a little bit of an indication that this is trying to turn around ahead of the debate. I'd be watching for that. That's about really all I can add to that. I think we also had a question about PayPal too ahead of.
We'll get to PayPal. I have another stock that I want to get to first here. Okay. Amanda, I think that you got it based on your response question here. I think that you're trying to be humble and answer it. It was not. I didn't actually eat a pie. I just got the cup. But if it was, I actually know somebody that makes some banger homemade pies. So I actually wouldn't even buy that at Costco. I know, shocking. I'm not buying it at Costco. But anyway, sounds like you got it there. Okay, next
thinking
one.
About it had a great point here with DJT as well. The lockup is going to be over soon.
And also Bourne had another really good point. Where was that? DGT 15.
If he wins on Tuesday, it may bounce.
Yes, there it is. Thank you. Couldn't see it there. If he wins on Tuesday, it may bounce. Absolutely. This thing likes to respond to some of that stuff. Again, we'll take a look here. The next stock I wanted to take a look at here was Palantir. Palantir getting some really crispy news after the bell on Friday. Will be added to the S&P 500 index. Stock popped on that news, has done a really good job holding that pop, actually drifting higher here today. Palantir. Gonna preview this a little bit. We might have an options trade coming for you tomorrow on Palantir. Just saying.
We're open, and
we're open. Time to flip over to the relative volume scanner.
All right. So INBS, not able to recapture VWAP. One thing real quick with Palantir, since it was being asked. I'm sorry, not Palantir, PayPal. It looks like it's getting a little bit of a lift this morning off of some news about being integrated with Shopify payments and a Will Ferrell advertising campaign. That's what it looks like. It also looks like it's broadening right now as well on the daily chart. So if it can hold the 20-day SMA, you could see some a breakout over 74 and get out of this megaphone pattern that it's putting in right now.
Sint right here. It's actually trying to go higher. We'll see if we end up getting this here on Sint.
And
careful on this one.
INBS also trying to push above VWAP.
Personally, as far as Sint goes, I'd actually wait for a pullback here. I've not been very good at playing some of these upside breaks. We're not getting that pullback yet. No trade for me here yet on Sint. Let's see if we end up breaking this. That top level there, I've got that at 630, it looks like.
Yes, 627 is the pre-market high. It's trying to get above that right now. And then if we do break above that, I have 785 as the next upside target.
And there's your pull that we were kind of waiting for. Let's see if we get this to the VWAP here. That might be a decent buy spot. Okay.
BLMZ, that one's actually going down because, you know, old news.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
I was going to say SMMT off the consolidated area right to the VWAP here. We'll see if it crosses through it. Smoke Tuna saying sell the news on Palantir. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. A little bit of a dip and rip there on Palantir. Probably should have set up a channel trade for this one. That's my own fault. That's my own fault.
INBS getting above VWAP here. Trying to hold above it. It's getting pushed back down.
Great call there. Nicholas saying Palantir option calls for me will hopefully be a big win. No early calls, Nick. No early calls. Make sure you close those there. Fingers crossed for you.
All right. What else is going on? SINT, that's taken off now.
There it is. So it did end up breaking through there. So it looked like, so that's interesting. That action there was, oops, let me reset that. That action there was not great, kind of dipped. That shook people out. Bang. Here's the volume. This is what we told you to take a look at. Volume confirming it. This goes higher here. I wanted a bigger pullback than that. Didn't get it. I'm okay missing it.
INBS still getting suppressed at VWAP, probably having a hard time getting through all this consolidation in pre-market. That's creating a bit of a supply zone here that's having a hard time getting through. Look at the price ladder here. It looks like 270's really got the big wall for them to get past. So breaking over, you know, we might see some more upside action if we can get over 270 here on INBS.
Okay, Bloom's also getting called. INBS, by the way, right to the VWAP there. Bloom's getting called. Looks like we dipped out of the open. We are curling back, not far away from the VWAP. Smoke Tuna, you think we get a bounce back to the VWAP here on Bloom's? We'll see if we get a move through that VWAP if it gets there.
All right, so far, SPY looking like it's really trying to recover here, getting close to that 547. We're at 545.10 at the moment.
Indeed. SPY here trading up out of the gate. So that pop holding, and we'll see if we take the next leg higher here. We are right at those pre-market highs. Jay Rice mentioning NVIDIA is at HOD here today. So tech kind of bouncing back here, Jay. Is that kind of what you think? You think this is maybe kind of a snapback, or was that just kind of a blip? I'm curious to know what you folks all think. Here we go. Sint volume looking good. Wait for pullbacks. The tuna's back. We're glad that you're taking a vacation because you definitely earned it, but we're glad to have you back, Tuna. Absolutely. Glad to have you back.
All right, Summit trying to push. It's currently above VWAP at the moment.
INBS is at VWAP. Oh, I clicked on TNXP by accident. Sorry about that, 13. Let me get you your Summit chart here. Man, what on earth is going on? There we go. Here we go. We're going to go through it. Arlay on the move. All right, Tom. Amanda's asking what the pullback level is. Tuna's pullback level for SINT. I would imagine the top end of that range there, maybe 630. VWAP at 587 on that.
Summit, SMMT. We're moving now.
Hey, let me bring it up here. Oh, indeed we are. Crow is in.
Nice.
Yeah, Jay did see that. But I'm looking for like the next step there. I understand what you observed over the weekend. That's all well and good. I observed the same thing. What does that mean for you? Do you think that so many people are bearish that we kind of move to the upside here and shake some of that out? What do you think? Comp already out here shorting this pop, shorting Nvidia's pop. Interesting move there. Love it, Comp. Love it. 106.05, 106.50. Jeez, come on, Ryan. Can't be that excited about a Victory Monday. Yes, we can.
Sint trying to hold above 625. INBS trying to hold above VWAP. Summit, this one looks like it's going to push up higher. Have 1995 as the upside target from here. Oof. Might run into a little bit of resistance around 18 though.
I think for Summit here, what I would like is maybe a move back towards and a hold of the VWAP. I get the impression here that I'm not sure that this makes it all the way back to the VWAP. This might be one of those where it pulls, it gets close and then takes off again, but doesn't actually print the VWAP level. Something to keep an eye on there. Elon saying Ryan 13 is probably right. Sell the rip. That, hey, look, this is what we call. I mean, I don't think I'm against this at all. What did I say that went against this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We actually called that on Friday. I don't know if you folks remember. We said, hey, look out. I know we're popping here early, but let's see if we kind of reverse and sell off on Friday. And look what happened. Yeah. Look at the chart.
Yeah, I exited all my SQQQ on Friday. I'm looking to reload, ahead of CPI. I don't know how much I'll end up getting though.
Summit continuing to move here. Let's see if we get above 18. Crow, I'd be curious to know what your price target is in Summit. Arlay continuing to move, took out that pre-market high. Volume looking pretty good here on Arlay. This hasn't compressed at all. Might be some more room there.
Yeah, this one looks like it's going to go well into 9.
Drug money. Lull at the handle. Are you guys shorting Tesla? No, I am not. Tesla is ripping to the upside. We actually saw a pretty volatile day on Tesla. What happened here? I must just be clicking all over the place. No, I'm not shorting Tesla. Shorting is not, generally speaking, what I'm trying to do actively either. If anyone has a short level for drug money here in the chat, I can't believe I'm saying that. If anyone has a short level for drug moolah here in the chat, let them know.
It looks like with Tesla right now, it got some support from the 20-day SMA, and it's rebounding off of that. Now, if it's trades back up, I'd be looking at the 50-day SMA as the next level to watch for. Maybe even 222 before that. The 50-day SMA I have at 223.50. It's kind of moving around a bit with the price. But let's say with here's some upside targets for you if you want to try to short one of those. 222, the 50-day SMA, 226, and 232. Probably aren't going to get to those last two today, but I think the 50-day SMA might be your best bet.
Okay, real quick here, Jay, this is the type of stuff that I absolutely love. By the way, DJT breaking through the VWAP. Summit hasn't pulled yet, but maybe keep your eye on that. Jay Rice, I love this comment. This is exactly the type of stuff I want to look for on a daily basis. Take a look at SMCI, which I've got here on screen. I know it's been awful, but another downgrade this morning, and it's green. And in fact, Jay's absolutely right. This up 2.75% here this morning. Looks like on the back of a downgrade. I don't have that in here, but was this from? This might have been one that is not updated yet. But there you go. Are sellers exhausted on this? Is this kind of a bottom for SMCI? And what does that mean for some of the other stocks in the same, I guess, industry? Take a look at SMCI. Look at this move. Look at how far we went and how far we've come back. I wouldn't be surprised if this bounced, even if you think it's still overvalued. Okay. Anyway, I like that. No position here yet on SMCI. We'll see. DJT continuing to trade higher here. TNXP lower. Arlay continuing to push higher here. Awesome stuff. IVP at the VWAP. Summit kind of consolidating above the VWAP. Is that what I'm seeing here? Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. It's having a hard time getting through 1778. There was another one I was looking at that was looking interesting. Oh, yes. Arlay. This one's taken off right now. This was getting into that area I was talking about, well into the 9s. Might see some resistance around 980 in Arlay.
Here you go. Here is your Arlay. That is continuing to move here.
Yeah. Sint popped and it came back in. Trying to get support from VWAP right now. If we don't get support there, it might fall down to 550 and look for some support down at that area. If Sint really starts to lose altitude, it might not get support until down at 425.
Okay. Turn getting mentioned here. That's TERN. Turns Pharmaceuticals. Nice little
INBS.
dip and move back to the VWAP. What was that?
INBS.
INBS. Got you right here on screen. Boom. Big pop. Here we go. Pre-market highs.
Yep. The pre-market highs. Well, we got some pre-market highs at 304, and then we have the opening morning at 320.
Smoke Tuna saying Sint looks good, but it's risky. By the way, Summit now, we did finally pull. Who's buying the pullback here on Summit? Looks like we pulled right to the VWAP and held so far. Crow, you said your initial entry on Summit was 1650 handle. Is that right there? Here we go. That went right to it there pretty much and then bounced. We'll see if we keep going here on Summit. Yes, excuse me, Summit.
Hitting these pretty good this morning.
What's that?
Hitting these pretty good this morning.
Yeah. Hitting these pretty good.
BLMZ looking for support. Thanks for that mention. It is looking like it's trying to get support. We have this level here, 195, and the 65 EMA, which is also at 195. That looks like it's giving support to BLMZ at the moment.
Okay, watching Summit here. This trying to pop, this doing its damnedest to hold above 17 here.
Yeah, trying to hold VWAP, yeah.
Trying to hold it. We'll see.
It looks like, I mean, I really don't want to, jinx myself, but it looks like it's having a pretty good time holding it, because down here where this consolidation is in pre-market, that's going to be a demand zone. We're going to see, some pretty good support from that. So I think we would probably try to turn around and at least trade up some more before we come down and test that to break down.
Seeing a ton of
BLMZ
options here on some of the semi names or tech names. Meta, MicroStrategy, Marvell, Tesla, NVIDIA. Saw a whole bunch of call side buying there.
BLMZ back up to VWAP.
Let me put that on screen here. Summit's pulling here. If this breaks, let's wait for it to set up.
Smita is asking about APLD. I was taking a look at that, I think, this morning. Yeah, because it was moving. Okay, yeah, here we go. Applied Digital. We're coming up to the $5 level. This was a previous level that I had marked off here. How high does this go? Okay, so after 5, I have 585. If we can break above 5. After that, 725. Volume is not looking too great, but I don't want to discount that it couldn't get to those levels I mentioned. It just needs to see some volume expansion. We also have a level or a high on Friday of 557. That was during the regular session.
Nick closing some PLTR for a 200% gain. That'll get you a register ring on a Victory Monday. Absolutely. BLMZ right at that VWAP there. Let's see if we move through it. BLMZ.
INBS got as high as, what is this, 288? Yeah, got as high as 288 and having a bit of a time trying to go higher, but still looks like it could get 3. And
give it to me, Mr. Market. hey, we out here, okay? We having a great time here today.
Great call on ASST, Shaka, and anyone else that was mentioning it. This thing is about to push through its 275 level. It could take it up to 290. Have 287 as the pre-market high, but this has a really nice formation here. I think we see it's possible we see 3 in this pretty soon in ASST.
Seeing some puts come in on NVIDIA. Smoke Tuna calling Blooms. BLMZ gave $2 support.
Nice.
Indeed, it did. Look at this. Came right into 2, bounced right back to VWAP, took it out. Look at, hey, I said earlier, keep your eye on the volume. Look what's going on here. We're getting that expanding volume here. Blooms, this is a great call, Tuna. You're going to get a register ring for that too.
Yeah, Arlay's pushing higher, making new intraday highs. 942 is the current one. 943, 44. Here we go.
On which one?
This is Arlay.
Arlay.
INBS coming down to test VWAP. Had a nice several candles there before we got this red one.
Palantir ripping out of the gate here. Good stuff.
Okay, yeah, this is new 52-week highs in Palantir.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, more like new 3-year highs.
Summit still flirting with that VWAP, folks, on Summit. Jay Summers, good morning. INBS 275 for a trade. Looks like we dipped in it a little beneath that right here at the VWAP. Watch if we hold your 34 handle printing on Palantir.
Looks like SINT's trying to push up after having 3 attempts trying to get it back above, what is this, 625, and getting smacked down every time, putting in some upper shadows. Looks like it's trying to go again here and take out 681.
This is SINT, right? With that 681 level there?
That is correct.
Amazing. Also, real quick here, Joe, this I'm curious. The gold stonks have bottomed on Friday, but I'm expecting them to retest once VIX sees 19. What is going on with SINT here? This is the only chart giving me trouble. I'm sorry, 13. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I cannot give you a SINT chart. Every other chart works fine. I cannot give you a SINT chart. I'm expecting to retest once the VIX goes higher again. I went long KGC 850 calls, but I'm all out. So it looks like you're actually reloading some of those gold plays on this little bit of a dip. That I understand.
BLMZ is trying to go here. If this
oh
looks
yeah,
like
it is.
If it takes out 250, it might take out the pre-market high of 259 and go up to 280. It's got a huge wall here at 240. It's trying to chew through right now, getting some stiff resistance. But if the volume comes in and is able to take that out, that's could really move. That's what it's looking like with BLMZ. Arley cutting a bit of a pullback here. Summit trying to support at VWAP. INBS lost VWAP.
IVP got rejected at VWAP. ADMA, which was on here, looks like that's going higher. Yeah, this SINT is just breaking my chart. I don't know what it is. It's just this one ticker. Here, I got it. Let's enjoy the SINT chart while I have it. I don't even know what to say.
An APLD giving a little bit more volume here to get through this 503 wall at tons of sell orders. That would be what we need to get above 5 here for APLD is to break above all these different sell orders between here 5 and 503.
Smoke Tuna saying SINT, the wicks are tricks. We were wicking down to the VWAP, but it is trying to hold higher here. We'll see if this yanks. No position for me on SINT. Don't feel great about that one, but I will say my gut tells me it goes higher here. We shall see.
There's a bit of a fight in BLMZ right now between the Bulls and the Bears. Riley getting mentioned here. Is this B Riley?
Yeah, it sure is. RILY. B Riley Financial.
What is it? Squeezing?
Dip and rip, baby. Dip and rip. Short interest on B Riley here. 60% of the float shorted. 60.
That might be it. It might be squeezing.
11 days to cover.
That might be it.
might be a squeeze there, 13. Might be a bit of a squeeze there.
Just a little bit. Arley really coming in after hitting 950. Summit still holding above VWAP.
Tom,
what? Go ahead.
The karma from this weekend's Bears win has spilled over into Monday. It is a strong victory Monday here today, Tom. You got that right.
I didn't know green was the Bears color.
Oh, baby, we're cooking here this morning.
All right, looks like the market's really, pulling a lot of these down. SINT actually trying to push.
That one's actually trying to go for new highs here.
Yeah, 681 is the current intraday high.
Sorry, Elon mentioning he's trading Nike and Disney, so non-tech trades here today. Here's your Nike chart. Looks like we did hold 80.5 there. Don't really see a great trade in there, but kudos to you. Disney here. I have a short bias here on Disney. Let's see if we can actually tell you what. This is probably be another short here if we get rejected at 90. I'll keep an eye on Disney. SINT getting called again. Oh my God, SINT. Yeah. This is going to be it. This is going to be the stock du jour, isn't it? The one I can't get a chart for reliably.
I don't know if it is. It's. I mean, look at the price action over the first 25 minutes.
It pulled.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It seems to get up to a certain level, and then it just the Bears just come in and knock it right down. It does. It's really they're really defending 7. It looks like. Not sure about this one, but it could just be a lot of chopping around until it chooses a direction. BLMZ, this one's still trying to push up and get to the pre-market high of 259. Got to get through this wall at 240 here. I'll do it.
Tuna, I'm wondering what you're seeing here, Tuna. Do we see more of a pull towards this 6 level on Sint? Or do you think maybe we bounce after this pull? Because look at what I see. The last time we yanked like this, stock just drifted back up. So bought a little bit of this right here. Bought a starter here on Sint on this pull. You think we go back up? Think maybe we pull back to the VWAP? Think maybe if we hold that VWAP might be an add here. I want to see this volume start to increase like we did before.
Yeah, I mean, some might view that as a triple top, so that could be something to be careful with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And trading DIS, I've started to change my position on being bearish on DIS, because if they're making some changes to their studios, then that's really what needs to start happening with this company. They need to alter their agenda, I guess. But if they can start pumping out some better content, make it worth subscribing to Disney Plus, could see things turning around. I just, like I keep saying, still concerned about their legacy media and parks segments.
All right, Sint coming back in here. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to bounce after this pull. Volume not really telling me it's going to bounce. So that starter position here, we'll make a decision on what we're going to do with that down here at 598 if Sint continues to pull in. Let's take a look at some of these other stocks that are moving here.
I also saw that somebody had mentioned UPS. Getting a little bit of action this morning.
UPS, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I expected.
Well, this is we usually use this as a gauge on the economy, and we understand that consumer activity is starting to dry up, but the dividend on this is pretty attractive. I think it's at an all-time high yield right now at this price. 5.24%. That's historically high. So I think this might be getting picked up as an interesting dividend play or income play. So could be what we are seeing with this one. I personally started picking some of this up around 128 last week. So
and that's not for a day. Just to be clear, that's not for a day trade, right? You're talking about a longer time horizon trade there. Okay, great.
At least a year. Yeah.
At least a year. That's so. It's 13, and I'm sorry for stopping you and stopping your flow there, but I think that that's really important because we're so focused on day trade movers all of the time. I think when we talk about some of these longer term ones, we should really make it a point to go over that. Real quick, Chris saying the Bears cost me an 8-leg parlay in all caps. Why were you betting on the wrong team? That sounds like a you issue, not a Bears issue. Bear down, baby. Victory Monday, Chris. Okay, let's keep going.
Oh man, that's what happens when you poke the bear.
So let's go 13. Let's go. By the way, BLMZ here really struggling to break above 240. That seems to be the spot that it really needs to pop if this is going to get rolling here. Sint looks like it might be coming back in towards that VWAP. As Tuna said, it's going to need to hold this, otherwise it could really flush.
That Apple event is not for a few more days.
No, the Apple event is today, September 9th.
Oh, it is?
Yep, absolutely. And I believe that is going to be a 1 p.m. Eastern start time. Is that 10 a.m.? Hang on. Mike, this is a really good question. And I'm getting messed up with the time here. For Pacific, it's daylight savings time. Just why do they even do this? 1 p.m. Eastern, just like I said. Never a doubt, baby. That's never a doubt.
Summit trying to take 18. It looks like just had a nice pop, getting a little bit of volume expansion here.
Life is good, folks. Here you go on Summit. Oh man, you're right. Then this thing maybe it's going to break the top area off there.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to 18. Should see some resistance there, but if it can break through that wall, then I think we're going to see that all-time high get touched.
Oh, dude, hold on. Chewbacca loves this. Chewbacca loves when you folks use military time. 1,300 hours, absolutely. Chewbacca is impressed. So funny story here. Jane Smith says, remember when the Bears, when Refrigerator Perry played and Vince McMahon, they were the coolest team ever. Interesting note about Refrigerator Perry. My dad, who spent his entire career in athletics as his profession, actually got to see Perry 1 year in an off season. I used to, when I was a kid and I didn't understand athletics, I'd be like, how is he so good? He's so big. He's so overweight. My dad was like, you have no idea. This guy used to get a picnic bench and he would sidestep to the bench part, then sidestep to the top, then sidestep to the bench part, then go to the ground and go up and down the picnic bench for an hour straight. 1 hour straight. I challenge any of you in the chat to go do that today for an hour straight. You let me know how you feel. Dude, 350 pounds was doing that regularly. Okay, enough of the stories. Let's keep getting back to the market here. How's Arlay doing? Right here at the VWAP, looks like it's trading back up.
BLMZ still having a hard time with that 240 area. Really stiff resistance. Needs more volume to get through all that.
Look at SINT has so far held above. This not over yet. See if we get a winner there.
INBS turning around with authority. Trying to get 3.
See if here we go. We're going to pop this top. Who called? I think it was Crow that had an INBS 3 call earlier. Oh man, the swing account is popping today. Popping.
Oh yeah, that's a good mention. Bigaby's talking about how Huawei is starting to sell their pre-orders for their trifold phone.
That was the trifold phone. That's what it was, right? We talked a little bit about that, about how that the big surprise coming for Huawei, it looked like a trifold phone is going to be one of those things.
You know, I looked at the Samsung Z Fold, and you know, I get that's like there's appeal there, but it's just not for me. I'm
not sold on the folding phone yet. I'm with you, 13. That's not my. I like just the traditional footprint of the smartphone, the piece of glass that doesn't fold or anything. I'm with you on that.
I think the big thing for me was that even with the fold, you can still see the crease in your screen, and I'm just like.
My CDO doesn't like that. CDO, by the way, is OCD in alphabetical order the way it should be. So I don't like that stuff. I'm with you on that one. APLD. I should look at this one more often, honestly. Here we go. APLD, another big move here. Cal says, I have the fold. Cal, let me ask you a question. Do you get used to that crease? If you just use the phone more and more, does it kind of just slip into the ether where you just don't even see it? That's kind of like how it works with me with 13. When he wears his Packer gear, I just see him. It just slips into the back. I just don't even see it anymore.
Don't train yourself.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
All right. Yeah, INBS still trying to get the 3.
What happened on Pac B? What a move. Nothing?
B.
Yeah, no news here. I'm seeing Pac B just kind of run to the upside here. Wanted to see if there was anything. Don't see it though.
BLMZ still trying to get the 250. It's we're seeing some of that those sellers get pushed down. Try to
here's BLMZ.
Take out some of those dip buyers.
Yeah,
right,
Kel's saying you don't see the crease.
There's INBS going all the way up to.
I'm gonna try and refresh my platform here. I am sorry, folks. I do not know what is going on.
Hey, no problem. Sometimes we just have to F5. Yeah, so INBS knocking on the door of 3. Just tested it at 299. Looking pretty good there. Summit also looking like this is trying to move up, taking out 18. BLMZ still having a hard time getting to 250.
Here is your BLMZ. Let's see. Did we take out that little formation there? Nope. Nope. You're absolutely right. We're just kind of watching. That area there is going to be key.
Yeah, 240. It's like 238 to 240 is the real big wall to get past. And with these upper shadows, it's looking like it may not get it. But hey, at some point, if there's a big old spike in volume that takes it out, that's what it's going to need in order to get up to 250. But for now, it's not looking like it's got that volume. INBS and Summit looking a little better at the moment. Arlay, is that going to come back up and hit 950? It's currently trading above VWAP, so there's a
holding there. Volume has started to compress on Arlay.
Okay, we have a big bid in BLMZ at 230, so that might help provide.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. SINT, by the way, back down to its VWAP. So we're trying to hold it on SINT, and it's breaking beneath. Holding that 6th level on SINT. Here, I'll go back to that here real quick. This is either going to determine if this trade here is going to be a close, or if we bounce from this area. Here you go on SINT. Summit getting called here. Multiple people calling Summit. That must have broken, huh? I'll put Summit on screen here since I'm caught in the bad trade. Let's put Summit on screen. What do we got for next levels here, Summit?
Oh, well, it's trying to break through 1850 right now. And then once it does, going to be looking at that. Let's just look for 20, because there's some, there's some areas on the way up, like maybe 19 or 1950, but it looks like it really wants 20.
Okay. See on Summit here. If we continue to pull one more break of the intraday lows on SINT, and we'll call it the wrong trade and stop out there. We are at a decision point right here, SINT. By the way, Tuna, shout out to you. You did say if this breaks the VWAP, it could really, really flush. That's one of the reasons that we're kind of watching this level here on SINT. We're going to keep ourselves protected, see if it ends up flushing here.
550 next support.
Exactly. And we don't want to sit around for that. We don't want to sit around for that. Opening position is kind of small. If it pulls back against you, no harm, no foul. If it rebounds, you can add as it crosses through VWAP. Otherwise, keep the loss small. Summit here, this is the one that is moving.
And it really does
look,
it does look like BLMZ is trying to take out 240, but it is just having a time. It is just not finding success at that right now.
It looks like it's wicking right there too.
Yeah, it's been doing that for the past 15 minutes. So kind of wondering if it's going to break down, if it can't recapture, if it can't capture 240.
Webcoin. Ryan, you remind me of Fraser Thomas in a good way. 13 does not remind me of Garfield Goose. I have no idea what you're even talking about. Who are both of those people? Fraser Thomas, best known for creating, hosting, writing, and producing a long-running children's television program on WGN. I don't know. Webcoin, I know that you said that you meant that in a good way. I don't see any good way from that. I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you.
All right, here we go with BLMZ. Boom. There it is.
13's like, shut up. We're talking about stocks.
Yeah,
Bang,
yeah. Yeah, Garfield Goose, whatever. BLMZ is taking off.
Oh.
I don't have time. I don't have time for your cartoons. I'm too busy trading BLMZ.
That was awesome, 13. Oh my God, that was so good. That might be the moment of the morning here so far.
Hey, we're having a good time here.
That was a huge break. Do we break it again? Do we break the pre-market high and go higher here?
Hey, this is where I was looking for it to go, is the pre-market. I mean, if it's going to break the pre-market high, it's got to have the volume for it. We might need a few minutes for it to gather that kind of interest. But 250 was the level I was looking for in this one. If we go higher, I'm going to be looking at 280.
Okay.
And here we go.
So
Up to
WebCoin.
268.
WebCoin. Well, lol. Well, they were both rich and successful. Okay, so I guess that is positive there. Just had no idea where you were going with that. That's perfect.
Oh yeah, had to be there.
Shenanigans on a Monday, baby. Shenanigans on a Monday.
Ah, nice. Parker's, grab that as well. Great job. And here we go.
I got you, Michael. I got you. What's up?
Now BLMZ is coming back in, looking for 250S support now.
All right, and here's Sint. Did we hold and curl? Let's see. Uh-oh, I'm going to get scolded here.
Still beneath VWAP, so I'm a little concerned with Sint.
I think I'm going to get scolded here. Hang on, let me make sure I'm not breaking some rules.
INBS might be the next one.
Okay.
And Arlay is also looking for 950, which is the intraday high.
Big of Bees, that's Chris. How you doing, bro? Happy Monday. Folks are definitely selling any kind of strength on a day like today. So this is exactly what we were trying to outline from the beginning here. Do we think that this market continues to move up here, or do they sell that rally? You're saying that you're seeing some selling now. 545 here on the SPY really hasn't broken down yet. We'll see if that turns around here.
Thinking about it, John Krasinski's I think he's a handsome man, so I appreciate that comment. Don't necessarily watch any of his content, like Office and stuff like that, but he's a good looking dude, so I appreciate the comment.
Also, the Jack Ryan stuff is badass. So
that I need to watch.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Because I'm the older type guy who really enjoyed Harrison Ford's Jack Ryan. Yeah,
me too. Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, those are classics, dude. Not a lot of people know about that stuff.
Yeah.
Love it, 13. Absolutely love it.
And one of the funny things is that my dad looked a lot like Harrison Ford. So he would his coworkers and friends would call him Indy at times. Look, and it's crazy how close they looked. They looked like they could have been brothers. Anyway,
that's pretty good, because Harrison Ford, man, he's a
good looking dude. Summit, we're looking for 19. We're probably going to get it, and then we're going to move up to 20.
Oh, we got some fighting words coming out here in the chat. I'm just going to leave this right here. I'm just going to go ahead and read this here. From a Philadelphia Eagles fan in response to a post on Friday, had some good Green Bay Packers pot pie, Packers barbecue brisket, and Packers souffle. Oh, them fighting words out here. Remember
what I told you about Eagles fans? Yeah. There you go.
So here we go. JJ says, your stream just keeps spinning and spinning all morning. Let me report that to Aaron. I'm not sure why that's the case. Let me ask you, JJ, if you go to the stream quality little gear cog, bottom right corner, can you select a different resolution and get it to play or not? Otherwise, let me report this to Aaron and see if he's got any feedback for me. I apologize that you're going through that here this morning.
All right, Summit. Hey, this is looking pretty good. We're over 19 and we're pushing up higher. Still looking for 20 on this one. Although we might end up getting a print slightly lower than that, like 1995 or something ridiculous like that.
Summit, this keeps going. Crow, you're still long this, right? This is an amazing call. Yeah, just changed it to 720. Is that working for you now? What if you go back to 1080p? It's not just him. It's been laggy all morning for you too, Robert. Okay, let me report that as well. Appreciate you guys, because on my end, I don't see any of this. So appreciate you guys with this feedback. That's how we do. That's how we do. Okay, now 1080. Any levels for Riley? Tracy, we will try and steer this train back onto the track. Let me tell you, we got any levels here for Riley. RILY is the ticker in question.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, 13. First level that jumps off the page here is going to be that 647 pre-market impulse move high. Let's call it 650. I'm with you on that. We take a look at the 15-minute chart. We should be able to get some more levels here. This is actually really awesome. We took out this entire consolidation area here from, let's call it 590 right up to this 640 area. Next spot I'm going to have up here, definitely 7 on that round number, maybe even 720 above that. Then 810, 840. And what was this final one up here? 915. Now, remember, there was a huge gap up to 16. Let's address that when we get there. For right now, those are going to be the levels that I just gave you. You got any more, 13?
I think next for Riley would be after 650 would be 680. 680 is going to be the next resistance area I'd be watching for if it breaks over 650. And what's going on with BLMZ? It looks like we really turned around from 269. Now we're getting support from BWAP. Arlay looks like that one's trying to take out 950, or it's gearing up to. Watch for volume expansion in that one. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, oh, wait. Let me read this first and make sure. So
20 in Summit.
Really quickly, users are definitely reporting problems. Nothing nothing crazy here. It might just be, I think that we're now allowed to broadcast in 1080p. So if your stream's laggy, put it to 720p and see if that gives you better results. I'd be curious.
So Summit hit 970, so we're almost there.
1970. Here we go.
You're right.
All good, all good, all good.
And yeah, Summit's looking for 20.
Thing.
Just don't wait for 20. Maybe start to trickle out of it if you're trading this, because it could be that we don't even hit 20. We just hit slightly beneath it.
Real quickly, Chris, do we stopped out on SINT? Dang, that broke down. So that starter position didn't work. SINT broke down. Real quick here, this is actually more important than that crappy trade. Do we fade the strength on DraftKings? Well, here's the thing with DraftKings. We talked about this as possibly an NFL trade kind of going into the NFL weekend. We looked at this last year, and this entire thesis did not work last year. So if you're thinking, maybe we're going to have a repeat, maybe you do kind of fade some of this strength, Chris, because this is exactly what we saw last year. Now, that being said, looking at some of these charts, this actually looks pretty good, man. This is a nice little move off a low, little regression move, and now it looks like we're trying to take this. I could see this popping to 38 if we break this level here. I have no position on this one, Chris. I can see both sides to it, though, man.
With DraftKings, we are now facing our potentially. It's going to be one. We are looking at we are trading above the 50-day SMA, and we're trying to get over the August 26th high, which was let me see here, 36.64. So we break out of that. I think there's a good chance we're going to be on having a date with the 200-day SMA, which currently is at 39.07. We keep trading above the 50-day SMA. The chart will actually also have a silver cross occur, which is when the 20-day SMA crosses the 50-day SMA to the upside.
Trying to get you a chart here. My goodness. I am sorry about this, folks. I will report this.
All right. Looking around here, seeing what things are happening here. SINT still getting some support from that pre-market consolidation, that demand zone. So looking for that to hold around 550. INBS, this is still trying to push over 3, having a time with that, but not breaking down quite yet. Summit still looking for 20, got as high as 1976, and still looking for 20. Good old 200 year anniversary of our nation, 1976. And then B Riley looking for 645. That's the pre-market high here.
Chat mentioning Neo. Neo just absolutely ripping here.
What news do they have? Not really.
Yeah, I don't see any. Finally, some progress, a ratings upgrade.
They're
hold from Jeffries. Don't really see a whole lot here.
It's funny to me because the news that I do see is that, hey, it might be a buy amidst the rising sales and margin efficiency. Like, oh, okay, great. Let's take a look at their income statement. Boom, they're losing billions.
Head fake.
Yeah, it's Neil for me is going to forever be a day trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would not want to own that company.
Absolutely.
Arlay still trying to get to 950 again. Summit still trying for 20. Looking like it's putting in some wicks. So be careful with Summit. It might be lacking the strength to get over 20.
So do you think we pull off that 20 spot, or do you think we pop that?
At this point, I think that if we start to trade down and we get some support from some of these earlier levels, like maybe 18 or 1750, that it would, and we get some support there where it starts to turn around. I think the next visit up we could break through.
Okay.
So if we don't do it here, that would be what I'm watching for.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, folks, I know it's a little bit later than 10 a.m. here today, but that's okay. It's a Victory Monday, so we're going to do things at our own schedule here, but it is Monday, and you know what that means. It is time for the one and only Matt Maley. We'll go ahead and bring him on here. Matt, as I've been saying to everybody today, happy Victory Monday to you. I'm not sure who your NFL team is, but I will not be taken off my high horse at all today, as I am a Bears fan. Did you enjoy your weekend? Huge slate of college football over the weekend.
Yeah, big college football games and pro games. I'm a big Patriots fan, and I was before the Patriots were when they were not a good team, and for them to beat Cincinnati was a surprise. Although Cincinnati certainly had some players that were missing, but it was nice to get for a first game for Coach Mayo to win. It was big, and I gotta tell you, the Bears coming back like that was nice. And I know that there was some concern about the quarterback play. I'm like, the guy's a rookie. It's a first game. I mean, geez, he's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. So
first game ever, he still gets the dub. I heard a stat earlier that first start quarterbacks were something like 4-25 in terms of win-loss going back the last 20 years. And guess what? We just got the fifth one there. So really awesome stuff. By the way, that Patriots game, I shudder to think how many survivor pools got absolutely mopped by the Patriots. I had a couple of bets because I bet the Bengals in the spread. Unfortunately, I lost those bets. Okay, Matt, all that fun stuff aside, I'm so glad it's back. Let's talk about the market here. We are going to have CPI and PPI here today. We had kind of an interesting down week last week. We're currently sitting below the 50-day here on the SPY. It certainly feels like NVIDIA, maybe some of the semis kind of broken, kind of trading a little bit differently. What do you make of this? What do you see out there?
Yeah, there's no question that last week was a very tough week for the market in terms of on the technical side of things. With it, we break, like you said, the S&P broke below that 50-day moving average. Saw the MACD chart with a negative cross. And it's just it certainly seems like the change in trend that we kind of saw July, early August is reasserting itself. And the one thing is that today we're getting a nice relief rally. I mean, part of that I think has a lot to do with two things. I think number one, the yen carry trade. The yen is seeing some weakness, so that unwinding of that carry trade, we're getting some relief from that. And then I think there's some hopeful expectations from what's going on in with the Apple computer rollout with their new products, or it's not necessarily new products, but it's the update of their new iPhone, their new watch, et cetera.
The new version of their products. Absolutely.
Right. So those things, again, trying to give the market a little bit of a boost. Can that last? It's going to be tough right now because we've definitely seen a breakdown on a technical basis and on a fundamental basis. Let's face it, the economy is slowing. I mean, it's not, a lot of people still say we're going to have a soft landing. That's fine, but it is slowing. That's number one. Number two, this whole thing, I mean, nothing's really changed from what the thing that's knocked us down. Number one is that people are saying, ooh, a little bit more of a chance of a hard landing now, especially with this second weaker employment report. And then earnings, but the bigger thing, earnings we're not seeing the broadening out of earnings from the AI phenomenon. And that had become very important during the last month or so. And without the tech stocks, the rest of the market just can't hold up because it's just too heavily weighted in those big indices.
Absolutely. And NVIDIA was one of the first ones. I kind of already mentioned that it seems like things have been trading a little bit differently since that last report there. Broadcom, the most recent to report, that also fell off here. Broadcom actually approaching its 200-day moving average here. So my next question here is, Matt, when we talked to you before about where the general market was, you made a great call. You said, yeah, SPY might challenge those all-time highs, maybe even trade above it, but probably back off that. That is exactly what happened here. What do you think's next for some of these? Do you think maybe we start to break down a little bit more? You think we get some sideways consolidation here? What are you thinking with rate cuts? I know some of these small caps might be in favor if we continue to cut going into the end of the year here. What are you seeing for potential trade ideas?
Well, I must admit, I'm a little worried about being. This is an election year. I mean, to be honest with you, what we're seeing in both the economy slowing down, it's people say, well, it's okay, we're not going to have a recession. We need to do more than just avoid a recession to hold the stock market up, because it's trading at well over 20 times earnings and almost 3 times sales. Okay, so I mean, if the market was trading at 15 or 16 times earnings, I'd be like, oh, no problem. You know, as long as the economy is growing, as long as the earnings are growing. But we're going to have 11% earnings growth this year, 14% earnings growth next year. That's the consensus estimates. That sounds really good. The problem is that last year the market rallied 25% on 0 earnings growth. So the rally between October 2022 through this summer had pulled forward all these earnings growth, all that earnings growth. So we need more than that. We're going to need really 25 to 30% earnings growth next year, and that's just not going to happen. So there's no question in my mind that the market is very vulnerable here. The one thing though is it's an election year, and even though October and September and October are tough months every year, even in election years, they tend to be less so in election years. A lot of liquidity, stimulus is provided in the marketplace. So you got to be careful about calling for a big decline here. But at the same time, it's just something with this breakdown in the charts on the key indices. If they see any more downside follow through, whether it be after a short-term bounce here this week, or immediately, it's going to be a big problem for the stock market. So I definitely want to be positioned on the bearish side of things. And we've made some real nice money. Last week we made over 500% in all things put options in Coca-Cola. I mean, you don't need to be going in and buying the options on all these wild tech stocks. Some of them have made some real nice money, but the thing is that some of those options can be a little pricey. So we're looking for wherever, we're giving what the market's taken. We're taking what the market's giving us right now. And things like Coca-Cola, along with the tech stocks, are where we're concentrating our view.
Sounds really good to me. 13, you got something for Matt?
Yeah, so Matt, we have CPI and PPI this week. And one of the things I'm anticipating is that we basically are going to have a little bit of a sideways, couple of days today and tomorrow before we get that print. Just kind of curious, what are you looking for from CPI? Do you think that's going to continue this downside in the market? Is that going to be what does this, or are we going to get some consolidation prior to that read? Do you think?
Well, I just think that I think the kind of sideways call is a very good one, because the market on a very short-term basis is getting a little oversold, and as are some key stocks. And you see like NVIDIA getting down near that 100 level. That's that key support level. Not only is that the lows that we saw back in August, but it's also a Fibonacci 38.2% retracement of the entire rally from October to the summer highs. So a lot of people are really anticipating a bounce off that level, and I wouldn't be surprised, again, on a very short-term level, the stock's getting a little bit oversold. But the thing is that I agree with you. Is like we had this sell-off. Okay, we got the presidential. I mean, I don't know if the debate will. I'm sorry, the debate will have that much of an impact on the markets, but it could. And then, like you said, the CPI number and PPI, but it's mostly CPI, will have an impact as well. So I think people have an excuse to sit on their hands. Even the bears are like going, okay, we've seen a nice decline here. We see a lower high, especially in these key tech stocks like NVIDIA, and the SMH semiconductor ETF, like the XLK broad technology ETF. If that lower high is followed by a lower low, big problem. But again, after the really big decline last week, I think people are like saying, let's see how these things in the CPI come out, how Apple's product announcements impact the market, and then we'll take another look.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, yeah, real good stuff there. By the way, Matt, you had talked about NVIDIA approaching 100 here. I did an extremely unscientific poll last week when I asked our group here, what do you guys think? What price would NVIDIA have to be for you to try buying this for a long set? And I don't just mean a day trade. I meant maybe holding it for a couple of days. And all of the answers we got from our community here were between $90 and $100. So I think you're exactly right. As NVIDIA comes into that $100 level, maybe even if it trades into a 90 handle, it should show a propensity to bounce. I actually just drew a Fibonacci retracement here. You're spot on with that level as well. Really good stuff here. Anything else we should take a look at here for the rest of the week before we let you out of here?
Well, one of the things is that look at this thing on General Dynamics, GD. This stock has been bumping up against the $300 level for a long time. Now, the defense sector has done extremely well. The world's not getting any safer, and the situations around the globe are not getting any better. So these defense stocks I think, will continue to do well. Stocks like RTX and Lockheed have had great runs recently, but GD has been kind of more stuck in a sideways range. So RTX and Lockheed may need to see little pullbacks. But we get too specific into it, but it's forming an ascending triangle pattern, and the top end of that pattern, you can see how 300 has been tough resistance really for several months now. So if it can finally break above that level, it should really see a nice run. And again, I like it. So I like it on a short-term basis, as it right now today is starting to break above that level, and I like it on a longer-term basis because the world just isn't getting any safer. And I think the defense industry, or aerospace defense industry, outside of Boeing, is still a good place to play the game.
Okay, that is awesome, Matt. Thank you. Appreciate this. See exactly what you're talking about here in the chart. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. Matt, have a great rest of your week. Thanks again for joining us here today, and enjoy the sports on the weekend. We'll talk to you next Monday, all right?
Go Bears, go Pats.
Hey, let's go. Go Bears, go Pats. That is the one and only Matt Maley. Folks, we are so lucky we have him joining us. Really, really awesome stuff. And 13, I got to ask you, starting right off with what he was talking about with General Dynamics, you are, of the traders that I talk to on a regular basis, you are one that is probably the most plugged in to defense stocks on a regular basis, according to your investment plan. What do you think here on GD?
I like all the defense stocks. The ones I own are Lockheed Martin and RTX for very good reason. RTX being the big missile supplier for the U.S. and Lockheed Martin, of course, they've got the F-35 Lightning II. They've made other aircraft. They make the HIMARS. They make all kinds of different military equipment. General Dynamics also makes a bunch of stuff too. And given the situation with Boeing, General Dynamics is, positioned pretty well to start eating some of Boeing's lunch in the as far as defense contracts and maybe even space contracts go. You can see here that on Wednesday they ended up getting a $491 million contract for space development from the Space Development Agency. So there's an aerospace angle here too as well. So I think that this company could end up getting a little bit of what Boeing's been getting, and also doing really well is like the other defense stocks like Lockheed Martin and RTX.
Okay, really awesome stuff, folks. I'll let you know if I take this GD play. That's funny how that came out. I'll let you know if I take this play here on ticker GD. We'll see if this ends up going. This is actually not a bad breakout play here, Matt, giving it live to us on the show. You just love to see it. Okay, let me go back to the main workspace here. Catch me up on the day trades that we missed while we were talking to Matt here. What's going on, folks?
Summit did the thing.
Summit is what is going on. Are we at the summit, though, is the question.
Probably not. I don't know how high this goes, because here's the thing. We're in blue sky territory now. It hasn't been up here. And they had a price target of $30. So it's entirely possible we see this thing just absolutely get bid up, and it goes into further into 20, into that range between 20 and 30. I don't know how high this ends up going, but it's not unusual to see a stock like this go and meet its price target the same day it's issued, and then just turn around and sell off. So that could be one thing that's potentially happening here with Summit.
Okay. Really good stuff there, folks. Really good stuff there. Okay, awesome. That little issue with chat has been resolved. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, we out here getting stuff done.
HWM is the best defense name since the Ukraine invasion.
Look, Flipping over here, let's see what some of my other trader buddies. Oh my God, the swing trade account is also having a victory Monday here today, folks. Okay, let's take a look and see what else is moving here. I'm seeing SINT getting called. Oh, look at that SINT. You just had to flush me. 0 for 1 on the day trades because I got stopped out of this piece of junk. And guess what? We're back at the 6th spot. Any of you folks looking for a trade here on SINT? Holding right at that VWAP. The one thing, just kind of sticking with the theme that I had mentioned earlier here, volume is going to tell the story here. We got a sideways trade here. We're not really breaking down. We're right at the VWAP. Wait for that volume flow, that volume pop to really set this one off here. SINT setup. I got no position on this. Unfortunately, I took my loss.
But hey, it sounds like a lot of people were doing really well in the chat with Summit and some of these other ones. So
yep.
Great job, folks.
I love it. The chat trading the right ones. Summit was it. Crow with a unreal call here this morning. It's going to get all 3 sound effects here. Crow, I think 1650 was the long. We're now 5 points, almost 5 full points higher than that. Fairchild, no, man, you guys rock. You guys that are here supporting us and then making money off of the communal aspect, you are the folks that rock.
I was getting asked if Summit has plenty of cash. I think I may have mentioned that they don't. It seems like because they have about 28 million in cash right now. They're burning between 20 and 60 million every quarter. So they could raise do an offering here at some point. You see the last time that they did that.
Yeah, I will say Summit here, well, 13's looking that up. I totally agree with you. They do have just about $30 million on their balance sheet, but they're burning close to 30 or more than 30 every quarter, it seems. So don't have a whole lot of runway here to go.
Yeah, they did 2 offerings in 2023. They've done none this year. So it could be that they are going to potentially raise cash at some point soon. They're going to have to. I don't know when that's going to happen. And I don't even know if there's going to be some kind of deal that gets made with the results of this drug that they've got here. This is in phase 3, so this is at the very end for their lung cancer breakthrough therapy. It's a big deal when a company like this is beating a company like Merck.
Yeah, no question.
There's maybe even a potential to get picked up. Now, with a market cap of over 8.5 billion, I'm not sure who's necessarily running out there to pick these up. But keep in mind that this has got a really important product now, especially since it's doing better than what Merck's product does.
Really quick here. Jacob Bear from our team here, also in here, giving you some news here. By the way, Jacob, skull, baby. Let's go. Victory Monday for my friend Jacob Bear as well. Google here at the lows of the day. We talked a little bit about the market maybe kind of rolling over here. Google, this is actually at the after hours lows here. This actually might break and go lower here. Jacob, I'd be curious to know if you're looking for an intraday short here on Google, maybe more of a continued pullback here in tech. One other comment I wanted to mention here real quick. Nader, I missed on Summit. So sad. Crazy money on the table. Nader, don't worry. Join the club. I did too. In fact, I traded a junkier name that I actually took a small loss on. Here's what I would say. Do not despair, because we are going to have more opportunities this week and perhaps later today. Keep those losses small. We'll get you back in the W column here shortly.
Don't fret. This is just one day. There's going to be more opportunities tomorrow, next week, in the future. Just we can't worry about missing one. I didn't capture all of that move either, but hey, it's not a big deal. I've been having a great day trading other stuff. You will too.
Crow, thanks. I'm off to get a massage and a cold plunge and a sauna. Crow, obviously playing the Joe Rogan playbook from A to Z right here. Awesome stuff, Crow. Really good day for you here on some of those stocks. Sideshow, taking a look at Lunar. We haven't looked at Lunar here yet today. Let's do that now. Lunar taking off.
It's got news. New CFO. New leadership appointments. So there's some moving around happening here with their executives. It looks like Brevam's executive team for space industry growth. Sounds like this company's serious. This could be a good one to watch. Let's see. Let me take a look at the chart here and see what we can get. Let's see what we got. Okay. So this one looks like it's trading up to about where the 530 level is. That was about the high from Thursday. It was about where we opened too. So let's call it the open up Thursday. Wednesday is when they had a intra-week spike, and that took it up to about 570. So if we continue to trade up there and we can get past that resistance area around the 530 and move up through that, I'd be looking at 580 as the next upside target.
Okay, good stuff there on Lunar. 6 is definitely a spot as well on Lunar. You can see it pretty clearly here on the 15. Becomes even more clear if you take a look at the daily chart. We'll see if this takes off and goes to space, if it breaks some of those levels here. Good stuff there on Lunar. Yep.
Keep in mind, Lunar still there's still some NASA contracts that Lunar is expected to receive this month. So there could be some buying ahead of that announcement. I think that's what we're possibly seeing here. We just don't have the news that they've received those contracts yet, but they are expected to receive them. We talked about those, for the past 2 weeks, what they could be.
Yep.
And they already got one. So
okay.
There you go. Thinking about it's got it. He's been on it too. Near Space Network Service contract, 2 tranches. Yep. Out of that, it's like over 500 million that NASA has to spend on those contracts. So they'll be getting a good chunk of that.
Okay. Okay, folks, we got about 13 minutes left here. We are going to have Zunaid come on to do an interview right at the end, but we still got some time left. Still got some money to be made. We still got some setups to stock here. Speaking of Summit, by the way, if this does pull back and get closer to the VWAP and kind of hold there, I think that would be great. I'd love to see Summit maybe kind of hold some of those levels and give us another upside trade. We'll see if that materializes here.
This is the level here. Remember, we were talking all morning about it breaking 20. Now that's a support level. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. Let's see if it does this. I'll bring this up in the broker here. We'll see if we hold 20.
So Lunar chewing through that the resistance I was talking about, making its way up to 540. We get through that. Be looking at 580.
Thing just completely vertical here, and you love to see this volume too. We talked a lot about this volume, really kind of telling the story here. Volume taking this higher. By the way, looking at the broader market here, the same thing that we saw on Friday looks to be happening here again. All of those early gains completely sold off. We're right at where we opened here. Let's see if we move lower. NVIDIA, if we take a look at some individual names here, NVIDIA giving up its gains as well. Let's see. Tech might not be out of the woods. Let's go ahead and take a look at Google. Jacob Baer just gave us a pretty good setup there on Google. And would you look at that? We broke lower here, Jacob.
Yes, Alex is right. 20 is also a psychological number. We have
no question.
All those round numbers are very, very psych level.
No question.
Numbers. So yeah, you'll see that the support resistance from those as well. Looks like SPY is trading back down into my consolidation channel from June.
Looks like INBS, maybe a curl here. An INBS.
Doing stuff.
It's trying to curl off the bottom. We'll see if it gets to the VWAP. Only 8 cents away on that.
So getting support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, needing to recapture VWAP, and then we might have something here.
Turn. Crow's looking at turn as this slowly recaptures its VWAP here on turn. See if this can really kind of get rolling here. The high that we had here on turn, what is this? Let me try and get this exactly here for you. Was that quite 10? Not quite 10. Looks like 990 on that high print there on turn.
Hey, Ryan, how's your MCRB doing?
How is MCRB doing?
Because remember we talked about that one?
Yeah, we did. So here is MCRB. So I'm actually up on this. And full disclosure, now that I have to get the ticker right. Come on, slick. So MCRB. So first of all, real quick here, shout out to 13. I'm going to have you cover this here, 13. I'm going to kick it over to you. Shout out 13. This was one of the movers that we talked about on Friday. Didn't buy it for any day trade. Actually took a little bit of this as we kind of discussed with the happy hour group right here in Benzinga Pro, a little bit more about MCRB. 13, I am long and I am up. I have this very, very small. This is kind of a junkier name here. What do you see here? Yeah, what do you see here at MCRB?
So the whole news is that there was a rumor going around that Nestle may be acquiring this company. And after looking through it and having discussion with some very smart people in happy hour chat, it looks like their whole health services sector, or their whole segment of their business, they may be wanting to get rid of that. They just had a CEO change. Shareholders are not happy with the past CEO trying to expand their health services. They've been making all kinds of deals with this specific company for a number of different GI-related treatments. But it seems like they are trying to move away from this whole segment. They may end up trying to unwind it and sell it off. Now, that's, with that in mind, the rumor is that they may be picking this up. And I think that the reason why that rumor is circulating is because they do have a lot of deals going on with Ceres Therapeutics, Nestle does. And I'm not sure what that, what reneging or rescinding on any contracts or deals that they have, what the fallout of that could be, if Nestle's going to have to, pay a breakup fee, or if there's going to be some kind of suit over that. So I think what the rumor is that they may have ended up just picking up the company, packaging up their entire health services segment, and then selling that off or spinning that off. Because I know that that's one of the big reasons for the CEO change, is that they want to they're trying to get away from that health services segment. So and go back to more of their core business. So that's the whole thought here, is that they end up picking up Ceres Therapeutics, and if they do, it would be for between $6 and $6.50.
Yeah, and just full disclosure here, stock's $1. I paid 94 cents for this. I took a starter position of 500 shares. And this is my main account. So we're not exactly breaking the bank here or overexposing this. As 13, I like how you put it right at the outset there. This is a lottery ticket. If I wake up tomorrow and this stock is 20 cents, I'm going to be down a little bit, but I'm really not going to care a whole lot.
Because the whole thought here is it's based on that rumor. So it would be the situation where you're buying the lottery ticket on the rumor, and if the news is correct, you're going to sell that news when it comes out. So just at this point, if you're in this, you're just waiting for that headline to come out. Hey, Nestle's picking this up for $6.50 a share, $750 million, and they're calling it good.
Also, really quick here, little pro tip for all you pro users out there, or anyone that's interested in pro. You guys have all heard the buy the rumor, sell the news. It's kind of what 13 and I are just talking about right here as it pertains to MCRB. One of the things that you can do in pro is you can actually color code different news categories. So instead of filtering them, what I've done is I've colored rumors to be like this purple color. And every time a rumor pops out, I actually see it just like this. So I don't even really need to think about it. This actually helps just kind of buy the rumor right when you see it and sell the news. I don't know if this is going to be helpful for you. We'll see how this ends up turning out here, but really good stuff. I'm just looking at a sea of green in my portfolio here, 13. So until you told me to focus in on MCRB, I hadn't realized, we are indeed up here on this one.
Yep. So that's a total lottery ticket. Buy the rumor, sell the news. There's no guarantee it's going to work out. It's just, something that we looked at, talked about it, and we're just trying. It's a total gamble.
All right, Gregory, with Summit here. This is opinion here from Gregory, real quick, but I will shout it here. Summit clinical collaboration of ivonescimab. I'm sorry for butchering that. I really am sorry. Expect Summit to 2 to 4x on these results. Additional China and EU trial data soon. FDA fast track approval. This is entertainment, not investment advice, but there you go. Gregory looking into it, saying Summit more upside here.
Yeah, MACD on Summit on my 5-minute chart, it looks like it wants to go lower, but I think you're going to see some support from VWAP. And if we don't get that, then maybe just let this thing cool off and set up for the next trade later on. But at this point, that's what I'd be waiting for. If it doesn't turn around here and start trading back up, I'd be looking at VWAP for support.
Okay. Make sure I'm not missing any instructions here for my team. Nope. Looks like we are in good shape. Here you go. Big B's. I'll take this. Anytime you're going to say thank you to the group, we're going to highlight that. Thanks for the idea on the Disney short. Big B's always has those ears open for the trading ideas. Look at that move. We took a look at Disney while it was making its impulse move to the highs here. What a reversal with the rest of the market here. Really good stuff there, group.
Yeah, the thing about Disney, they need to get back above 950, and then I would be more bullish on them. But they've been they just lost their 20-day SMA on Thursday. Still not able to recapture it. I mean, we could even see a double bottom in this before this thing turns around. And if we do, it's going to be down at 84.
Okay.
But I'm starting to, warm up to Disney if they are actually making the changes into their Marvel and Lucasfilm segments. Gives me a little bit of hope they're trying to turn things around, trying to move on from the DEI and all that. So if they are trying to turn around and focus a little bit more on quality content, I think you might have something good here. We need to see that turnaround happen in a more robust manner. Not this. This is not a turnaround yet.
Comp, you will absolutely get the blessings of Chewbacca. I'll tell you what, Comp here trading NVIDIA and Tesla short as these stocks were moving up. Comp was in here on a Mo move to the top saying, hey, opening a short here. Looks like you're going to get the last laugh, aren't you, Comp? NVIDIA totally rolling over here. Tesla, same type of deal. Tell you what, man, when you were taking those shorts, I wasn't really seeing them. I was wrong, and you were right. This was a great call here. Let me know when you book those. You got it, boss. You got it, boss. Keep those ideas flowing in the chat. Even if I don't take an idea, that doesn't mean that you folks can't bank. Oh my God, we got
it's relief.
On a Victory Monday.
Here we go.
I had to come on a little bit earlier, and I'll tell you guys what's on deck here in a moment. But Ryan,
please.
13, good morning to you. So good to see
Hello.
you. But Ryan, I thought it was tradition for you to take the Monday after week 1 of NFL off. I've worked with you for 3-4 years. I thought that's what you did.
That is correct. That is correct. No, you are absolutely not wrong. That is a very astute synopsis on your part, one might say. But I'll say this. Back in the day when I used to do this, I was not being relied on for this show. In fact, if you recall, as early as last year, Mitch was around to maybe kind of take some of that pressure off. We didn't have 13 yet, all of this stuff. Since that changed, there is no way I am going to leave this group hanging. No way at all. And you know what? It's easy to come to work when it's a Victory Monday, boss. Go Bears.
Go Bears. Hey, listen, I don't know about your quarterback, but hey, a dub is a dub. So
you will know. You will know pretty soon.
I mean, look, if Rex Grossman can take the Bears to the Super Bowl, maybe you've got a shot of winning one.
No, he did not take them to the Super Bowl. The defense took them to the Super Bowl. Let's be clear about that.
I'm just saying.
Let's be crystal clear.
Come on, lay it on me. Lay it on me. Give me the gifts of the dress and the nail paintings. Just load it up, folks. Load it up because y'all gonna be sorry.
I've got some great super gifts for you. If you've seen the movie, you know.
Well, let me go ahead and take a look at a couple of things. I'll tell you guys what's on deck. By the way, NVIDIA. I was really hoping NVIDIA would go ahead and drop to the $100 level. It got to 101. And then decided to pop right back up today. I think at the highs of 106.56. So we'll see if it drops down to the $100 level. But NVIDIA is one that I'm interested in snagging a little bit more of.
And don't remember, for heaven's sakes, Ryan, wake up. Don't forget, Zunaid, last week we did a very, very scientific poll where we asked the group where they would be buying NVIDIA, and they told us 90 to 100 they're going to be buying.
Yeah. I mean, you also had Anne Marie that put on a trade. So, we'll get a chance to talk to her tomorrow and see if she's closed out of it, how that one's going. So a lot of great insights coming up there. You guys take any trade today before I talk about what's coming up next?
I actually just got stopped out of a trade. The day trade that I was on earlier just didn't work. But one I am watching, courtesy of our guest, Matt Maley, this General Dynamics ticker GD 300 breakout. Look at this triangle we're breaking out of, Zunaid. So that's what I'm watching here today. Might end up taking that. Shout out to the DraftKings traders around the opening of football.
Yeah, I had a Feehan Slack me this morning and said, so how much did you donate to DraftKings? Thankfully, DraftKings is not legal in my state, so they didn't get any of my money. 13, what you doing today before I let you guys go?
I was trading the INBS, a little bit of Summit. Those are some pretty good trades. Just kind of wait and see what happens. If there's anything else that sets up, it looks like Arlay is looking pretty good at the moment. But if there's anything that sets up, I'll be trading it. Otherwise, I'll just wait until the end of the day. See if there's
All
any
right.
activity.
What are you laughing at? What are your final thoughts here?
I'm laughing at the fact that I cannot figure out which scene I was supposed to put it on. Thankfully, we've got AT in the back. Good looking out, boss. Really appreciate that. Have a great rest of your Monday, folks. Enjoy your Victory Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Appreciate you too. And of course, here is what is happening on deck. A lot of you may have heard of the company Vimeo. I personally have used them when I had to chop up videos that my lovely cousins would ask for their weddings, little DJ mixes here and there. And, you know, anything video related, I've personally used Vimeo. But there's a lot more to the company than just that. They have an on-demand aspect of it. They are a publicly traded company. And there are a few things that I wanted to talk to the CEO about. So we've got Philip Moyer, who is the CEO of Vimeo. Ticker is VMEO. Philip, welcome to the show. Oh, we've got you on mute. I believe you might just want to go ahead and check that. But, you know, before, as you go, let me know when you're ready to go on that end of it. But Vimeo, like I was saying, chat, you have the, you know, editing aspect of it as well. But then you also have the on-demand. Matter of fact, what I think I might do is go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about here. Let me go ahead and go to Vimeo. Because I don't know about you guys, but I did not know that they were a publicly traded company until we started to kind of have these conversations. So you have this aspect of it where, again, you can go ahead and sign up, cut up videos, edit them, and different things like that. And then you also have the on-demand version, which we'll talk about here in a moment as well. Phil, welcome back.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
You know, there's so many things that I want to talk about when it comes to Vimeo, but for the folks at home that might not be familiar with it, tell us a little bit about you and Vimeo overall.
So Vimeo is about a 20-year-old platform, and we were originally started to help filmmakers and people that were professionals in the cinematography world be able to share very, very large videos. Over the past 20 years, we've grown to be able to support hundreds of millions of people, hundreds of billions of views of video around the world. You can think of us as one of the largest private video platforms in the world, to be able to store your videos and to be able to share your videos or to be able to stream your videos to just the right person that you want to, without any advertising, without anybody in between capturing your data. So we're a private video platform for the world.
It's amazing you mentioned advertising because everyone knows the movement of cut the cord, right? Then now it looks like we're being reintroduced to ads through Amazon Prime, through Netflix. So it's amazing how history truly does repeat itself. Let's talk about Vimeo Central and kind of how it separates you from the competitors in the same space.
You know, increasingly, video is becoming a really essential part of communications inside of companies. If you look across the world, there's something like 59 exabytes of data that moves around the world. 82% of that is video. And most people think of video, they think of an Instagram or TikTok, or they think of a YouTube. But increasingly inside of companies, people want to be able to use video to be able to communicate, not just to do meetings, but to be able to do training, to be able to communicate their strategy, to be able to store information that's important from team meetings. Yeah. And so Vimeo Central actually allows you to have a secure repository of all the video that you use for training, for internal communications, for marketing, for external communications inside of your company in a central place.
You mentioned like the short form content aspect of it. And to me, I'm a visual learner. So, you know, I have like this project I'm working on where all the things that are happening in this sports venue is written down, but I'm like, I have to see it. I have to know what the movements are like, where the placements are. And, you know, you have now this world where you want to create long form content and make it into short form content as well. And you want to do it with ease. How is your platform making that a possibility for users?
We're really excited about this. So we're kind of pre-announcing a little bit by talking about this. Some of the things that we're starting to do with artificial intelligence is to be able to create an outline of any video content you have, be able to ask a question of that video content, even be able to do highlights of that video content. So we can take chapters and just clip out just the section that's really important to you. Like, so when you think about being able to create a podcast and then be able to just serve up a handful of the highlights, AI is really, really getting good at being able to divide up that content, and then you're able to just clip that section. And so you'll see us as we get into the last half of this year, or I should say in the next few months of this year, releasing that capability to be able to give just the right amount, just the information that you want in just the format that you want to anyone in the world.
Philip, I also can't believe how fast this year is closing up. I can't believe it's already, what is it, September? I had to look down and double check. Is there anything else that you're doing in the AI space, especially because look, we've seen security measures increase across the industry as a whole because more and more data is being provided to companies from the average American. How are you guys taking appropriate measures when it comes to privacy and security?
You know, I've been here for a little bit over 150 days at Vimeo, and one of the very first things that I did was come out very, very, I'll say very strongly about the fact that we're going to protect users' content. Unlike public video platforms, we have a responsibility to keep the video and keep information private. That means the videos that you have, the people that view that information, the way that you construct that video, and even the content. We don't want AI to get better on that video if you don't want to allow the AI to do that. We're also doing things like identifying that AI has created video. And so more and more, you know, and this is one of the big reasons why people come to Vimeo, is that they're able to have secure content, secure video content distributed to whoever they want to. One of the big things that we do, we work with a lot of healthcare organizations. And there's a lot of proof that if you send a video after, say, an orthopedic visit, you get better adherence to the protocol, and as a result, you get better outcomes. Well, no one should know that you're receiving that video, and your relationship between your doctor and yourself and that video should be 100% private. And so Vimeo is very, very privacy and security centric. It's why so many organizations use us.
I wasn't even thinking about the medical aspects of privacy, so I'm glad you guys, and maybe that's why you're the CEO. But speaking of you being CEO, you mentioned it earlier, you became the CEO of Vimeo earlier this year, I believe in April. What are you hoping to achieve by the time you hit your 1-year anniversary? I know you teased a little bit about what's to come till the end of the year. Are there any other milestones that you're hoping to hit by April of 2025?
You know, we're really excited. You know, we've got this fantastic, what we call kind of individual subscriber. We have hundreds of thousands of school districts and churches and fitness instructors and professional videographers and cinematographers and filmmakers. And you're going to see us do even more for that customer base. We're going to make it easier and easier for them to be able to share videos anywhere in the world. We just opened up China for a number of organizations to be able to take China in. But then we have this enterprise business. And in enterprise, people use us to maintain their marketing videos. So an organization like Mazda, when you look at a Mazda car ad, that's coming from Vimeo. When you want to be able to, be able to do customer support, and you need a video to be able to say, hey, how do I plug my HDMI cord into my LG TV? You can get Vimeo videos for that. Internal communications, as I mentioned, and then even external streaming. So we're very proud that we actually provide some of the streaming capabilities for the NBA. And so what you'll see is that, you know, we're going to make it easier and easier for those individuals. The enterprises, you're going to see our enterprise grow business. We're actually just in the process of almost crossing over $100 million a run rate. And then on top of the billions of minutes of video that we have, you're going to see us add just incredible AI capabilities. So we just released translations, as an example, back in January into 29 languages. You'll see us remove ahs and ums and make sure your eyes are locked in. You'll see us do some of the highlighting and ask a video a question capability. And so we're going to innovate really fast in the AI area. A year from now, you'll see a significant number of AI features having come out, supporting each of the customer bases I talked to you about.
Okay, so again, I'm learning new things. I didn't know that you guys helped kind of stream on the NBA side of things. Is that like to the games that go on NBA.com, or is that like when they stream to Twitch? What's the partnership
like there? On NBA.com, some of the things that you'll see, like at the All-Star game, as an example, we help out with some of the interviews, and so we'll help out with some of the things that come on NBA.com. We've got a whole variety, an extraordinary variety of sports organizations around the world that use us to be able to house their video and be able to stream to their customers. We've got some of the biggest emerging sports here in the United States are streaming on us already in the background. So yeah,
we've seen the NFL have such monster packages with Amazon Prime and a variety of individuals. Matter of fact, I think the NBA also is trying to figure out their media packages with TNT and all that other good stuff. Before I let you go, recently you had appointed the company's first chief product and technology officer in Robert. Tell me how this sets Vimeo up for success, not just 6 months, but also 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line.
You know, one of the things we're really excited about with Bob is his background in enterprise technology, enterprise grade security. If you take a look at some of the things he did at Datto to be able to really harden that business and be able to create just a trusted environment in security. As there's this explosion of video, it's really important that you're able to protect the user's content, whether or not it's an individual filmmaker or whether or not it's a large enterprise. Video is going to become as pervasive inside of the enterprise as it is outside of the enterprise. And it's really important that we secure it, that we deliver to just the right person at the right time, that we protect you when you're using AI, and that we're making sure that any of the content that's out on the internet that you're streaming is yours and you're able to identify it. So you're going to see us really amplify security and protection and privacy in this process. Bob is also an extraordinary leader of being able to move innovation rapidly. And so you're going to see, I expect that you'll see our pace of innovation in the area of AI dramatically increase. So we're really excited to have him join the team.
If there's anything I've learned being more and more in this corporate world, it's that the ideas are great, but it's the team that needs to lead the execution that matters much, much more. And it looks like great things are happening at Vimeo. Philip, thank you so much for your time here. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Lenny. Greatly appreciate it.
You got it. That was Philip Moyer, who is the CEO of Vimeo. Ticker, once again, is VMEO. Check out the company. A lot of great things are happening. I think we all can understand that content creation and video is what the future is going to continue looking like in this creator economy and everything else that's happening in the world as well. And as always, do your own due diligence. We appreciate you for watching that interview. You've got Trader Bacon that's coming up next. So if you want some more action on trade ideas in the future side of things, you've got my man Gates